I was one of the early critics of this regime. I had great hopes for it, and when it was introduced in a pretty hurried fashion, we only had a couple of months to comment on the draft laws before they were introduced. I thought it was going to be a white elephant, and I wrote a paper explaining why I thought that. So I've been pleased that I've been proven wrong on that it is being taken up, and it's being increasingly used. Each quarter, we're seeing more and more appointments. Now, it's still well off where voluntary administration was when that was introduced back in 1993. So it's not as popular as other types of insolvency, but there's clearly a need in the smaller end of the market, the SME market, for this type of procedure. So I'd say, yes, it would be a success, but I think it could be still improved. We've had a parliamentary inquiry into corporate insolvency law last year, and there were various reforms recommended as part of that, one of which is this maximum $1 million liabilities ceiling, which we currently have. As to how I would explain it to a student, I always say to students in my insolvency course, focus on where's the problem in this business, or what are the problems in the business. And for many of these smaller businesses, the business people don't have the right information systems in place, so they get behind on some of their bills, particularly tax bills. Maybe they're not paying their taxes on time because that's basically providing the cash flow for the business. And so this is a regime which allows you to compromise your tax debt. Now, I do think there's a much broader question here in terms of policy. Should we have a procedure that basically requires you to go through this formal process, incur potentially tens of thousands of dollars in costs just to do a deal with the tax office? Why isn't there a more efficient economical process to do a deal with the tax office? On the other side, we might say the tax office has got something like $36 billion in small business outstanding debt. Is it appropriate for the tax office to just be cutting deals, seemingly left, right, and centre on these things? Now, what we do know is the tax office is being very open and transparent, which is fantastic. They're going out and giving roadshows around the country, talking to insolvency practitioners, talking to accountants, explaining what things they look for to give approval. And they are certainly director loans. They want to see director loan accounts coming way down, and they want to see the tax compliance going up. So a better history of tax compliance, not just ignoring the tax office for years and then thinking you can do an SBR. But if you can tick those boxes and you can, offer maybe 25 cents in the dollar, I think the tax office is probably going to allow it to go through.